Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about 5 things your gynecologist wants you to know. From pelvic exams to pap smears to embarrassing questions, and what about all of those crazy products they sell at the supermarket? We're going to talk about my top 5. Before we jump into today's video, if you're not subscribed, please hit subscribe. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That really helps me know if you guys are liking the content that I'm putting out. All right, let's get started. Number 1, pelvic exams don't have to hurt. That's right, I know it is not what your friends told you, and I don't care, they're wrong. Pelvic exams don't have to be painful. That being said, there are certain infections, certain conditions, certain things that can be going on which might make a pelvic exam more uncomfortable. But at baseline, a routine pelvic exam just to do a pap smear should not be painful. And the reason I think this is important is because sometimes women put off scheduling an appointment with me, especially their first appointment, because they're nervous that the pelvic exam will be terrible, and it shouldn't be. If you are nervous, if you've had a bad experience, if someone has told you something that's made you worry about this, bring it up before the exam so we can talk about it and I can explain the exam to you. For the most part, almost every pelvic exam can be done with minimal discomfort. And please, please don't let this be a reason that you decide to put off an appointment to come and see your gynecologist. Number 2, this is a big one. A pelvic exam does not mean a pap smear. And I know you know they're different things, but often I get women coming into the office and they'll tell me something like, oh, my last pap smear was in the emergency room when I got seen for an ovarian cyst. But they probably just had a pelvic exam. So a pelvic exam is where we use a speculum to look at the inside of the vagina and evaluate the health of the vagina, look at the cervix, make sure there's nothing obvious going on. A pap smear, on the other hand, is a lab test which specifically looks at the cells of the cervix to look for any abnormalities and tell us if there's changes that are usually related to HPV. So why does this distinction matter? Pap smears really should be done on a regular course. How often you need them depends on your personal history, your age, and a variety of different things, which you should talk to your doctor about. But they should be done regularly. So it's really important that women know just because they had a pelvic exam doesn't mean a pap smear was done. And we need to make sure that we actually have the results of the pap smear before we decide that we're not due for one. Pap smears look for abnormal cells on the cervix, which can be related to HPV. And normally, if we find an abnormal pap smear, it can be treated or just watched and safely corrected either by your body or by the things that we do to intervene with that. But if it's ignored for long periods of time, it can become worse and it can eventually lead to cervical cancer. So it's super important that we get our pap smears done, that we get them done on time, and that we know just because we had a pelvic exam done does not mean that they actually ran the pap smear lab test. And so if you're having a pelvic exam done, just ask the doctor, are you doing a pap smear today? And that will help you kind of keep track of when was your last one, what were the results, and when are you due for your next one. Number 3, I don't care if your legs are shaved or anything else. Truly, I don't care. I probably wouldn't even notice that your legs weren't shaved except that you told me. I mean, come on, we're all busy. I have 4 kids. It's the middle of winter. Nobody's shaving their legs. It's fine. I don't care if your legs are shaved. I also don't care about your personal grooming habits. How you want to keep the hair down there, totally up to you, my friend. Makes no difference to me. I promise you're not going to faze me. So stop apologizing that you didn't have time to shave your legs. I promise we don't care. All we want is you to come to your visits when you're due for them, be comfortable talking to us, and let us do an exam if that needs to be done. Number 4, you know that aisle at the grocery store? You know it, with all the washes and the things. And you look into the aisle and you think, which of these do I need? Which washes, which wipes, which cloths, which douches? Let me answer for you. None of them. Get rid of them. Stop using them. These products are useless at best and harmful at worst. So unless your product has been specifically recommended by your doctor, stop using it. These companies are making millions of dollars profiting on making women feel uncomfortable about their normal bodies. You don't need douches. You don't need feminine washes. You don't need special wipes. The vagina is a self-cleaning oven. It's probably either normal or it needs a doctor's help. You definitely don't need to be spending your money on these grocery store products that are making money off telling you that your normal body is not working right. It is, and if it's not, your doctor can help you. Number 5, you know that TMI question sitting up here in your head when you come to my office and you're not sure if you should ask it or just leave it out? I want you to ask that question. I promise it is not TMI. There is nothing TMI for your OBGYN. We have heard it all, probably today. So don't worry that you're going to make us think something crazy or that we're going to judge you or that we have any vested interest in anything but making your health better. If you're worried about it, bring it up. I want you to ask me those questions, the ones you think are embarrassing, the ones you think are weird. Ask me those, but not here. Please, for the love of God, don't ask me here on YouTube or Instagram. Make an appointment, come into the office, ask me there, or make an appointment with your doctor. These are the questions that your gynecologist wants to answer. The reason I say that is because sometimes women are scared to bring things up. They've been told it's abnormal or weird, or they've gotten kind of a funny look from a friend, or Google told them it was something strange and they're scared to ask. But we see this all the time. We're trained for these things. This is what we want you to bring up in the office. I mean, if you can't ask us, who are you gonna ask? We want you to ask us. Sometimes women tell me that they feel like a doctor has blown off their concerns or been short with them or not answered their questions. And I can totally see how that happens. Sometimes we can't 100% cover everything in one annual visit. So bring up your question. If it's easy to answer, I'll give you an answer right then. But if it's something a little more complicated, like low libido or I don't know, some other more complicated issue, then we may ask you to make an appointment and come back for a talk-only visit. So if you have the questions, bring them up. And if I can answer them at your one annual visit and still do all of your annual exam things like your pap smear and talk about your general health and birth control and all those things, then we'll do it then. But if I can't answer it fully then, I may say, hey, that's a really great question and I'm so glad you brought it up. Let's make you an appointment to come in whenever you have time and just spend the whole 15 or 20 minutes talking specifically about this. We don't have to do another exam. We don't have to do anything special. I just want to talk to you about what's going on and see if we can iron out a plan to make you feel better and decide if this is normal or not. Okay guys, those are my top 5 things that I wish my patients knew. To review, number 1, pelvic exams do not have to be painful and usually are not painful. Number 2, a pelvic exam is not the same thing as a pap smear. Just because you had a pelvic exam doesn't mean they did a pap smear. So make sure you ask the doctor when they're doing your pelvic exam if they'll be doing a pap smear that day. Number 3, don't apologize because you forgot to shave your legs. I promise, I don't care. It's fine. I get it. It's perfectly okay. Number 4, stop giving money to the people selling feminine hygiene products at the grocery store. They are making you feel insecure for things that are normal and they're making money off of it. Don't give them their money. Don't use their products. Only buy those things if your doctor specifically recommended them to you. Number 5, that embarrassing question you have that you're not sure how to ask, I want you to bring it up. You're not going to faze us, I promise. I want you to ask me the hard questions. Ask the questions, don't be afraid. Your OBGYN is on your side. They want to help you, they want to make you feel better, and they want to answer your questions. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. If you have questions or you would like to add something to this list, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your stories or any more things that you think are important for women to know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like what I share here, I would love for you to subscribe.